This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the Alpena City Council meeting of April 5th, 2021. Call the order, please.
Councilwoman Hess,
Hess here.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Mitchell,
Here.
Councilman Nowak,
Here.
and Mayor Walagora.
Here. Thank you. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the tonight's agenda. Sorry.
Yep, I move we approve the agenda.
Johnson, second.
Councilwoman Hess,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Nowak,
Yes.
and Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Any modifications to the agenda this evening? All right. Approval of the minutes for regular session of March 15th, 2021. Any issues, changes? All right, I'll sit there. Citizens appearing before council on agenda and non-agenda items are allowed 5 minutes each to address your concerns. This is the only time during the meeting that citizens are allowed to address council. If you'd like to do so and you're live, please come to the podium and state your name and address for us. And then I'll get to virtual just here shortly.
Hi, I'm Steve Schultz, Assistant City Engineer, I guess 323 Avery Street. But I just wanted to step up and introduce our new employee, Charlie Conjurski. He'll be the new Assistant City Engineer, and I take over for Rich as City Engineer in June, so.
Okay.
Say any words or anything, or at least step up into the podium camera so you can.
That way everybody could see you.
As Steve said, I'm Charlie Konjorski, so they've been calling me Steve too, so
Welcome.
Welcome, Charlie.
thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Great addition.
All right. And I'll wait till you get to your other posters.
Yeah, David Zanski.
David Zanski.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, yeah,
Hi, David. If you could state your address for us, please.
sure thing. My address is 11714 Weingarts East in Utica, Michigan, 48315.
All right, go ahead, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I am Assistant General Counsel for LJ Holdings 2 LLC, which does business as Green Buddha. During the last meeting on March 15th, Andrea Cares was kind enough to read my statement for me regarding the City Council's consideration of an unlimited number of provisioning centers under the Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Act. I'm here today to voice my strong opposition to the potential revision of Alpena's Medical Marijuana Ordinance, which would allow an unlimited number of provisioning centers to operate within your city. Respectfully, I would implore City Council to consider allowing the 2 approved provisioning centers to be opened first for about a year or more before seriously considering increasing the existing cap. Allowing Loom and Green Buddha to open and operate for a year would allow your city an opportunity to see how professional operators conduct business in this industry. We take compliance, safety, and quality very seriously at Green Buddha, and I have no doubt that our competitor Loom does the same thing. Clearly, I have a dog in this fight, but prior to my current role, I represented other clients around the state and saw firsthand the consequences of policies similar to what Alpena is currently considering. This would be a massive change with far-reaching implications that should be carefully considered before approving. Smaller operators, especially those without the level of expertise that we've cultivated over time, are far more prone to mistakes and financial exposure that leads to the largest risks for your community. Desperation leads to even the most well-intentioned individuals to make bad decisions that could have severe impacts for your city. It is important to remember that regardless of one's comfort level with marijuana, this is still a Schedule I drug that raises many concerns from communities about criminality. These fears are not unwarranted. As I referenced in my prior statement, Bangor Township and Bay City allowed provisioning centers to flourish without restraint during the early years of the MMFLA implementation. I represented clients in this area at that time and saw the effect of price wars that developed from oversupply. It was an open secret that some operators skirted the law and went as far as to bring in product from states like California and Oregon. While Metric can help curb this issue today, it will not unilaterally prevent the effects that oversupply and an overabundance of competitors will bring to your city. Liquor is tightly controlled and regulated in a reasonable manner that does not allow for an unlimited number of stores in any given area. Common sense dictates that we should not allow just anyone to have a license because of the risk associated with a substance like alcohol. Marijuana, which is regulated to a far greater degree, should be taken even more seriously. I would respectfully ask City Council not to rush into this decision that will undoubtedly result in multiple failed businesses who will find themselves in desperate times. Any momentary benefit will quickly be replaced with long-term problems from these failed businesses. In addition, professional operators will be discouraged from opening in your city, which are the very businesses you want operating in a tightly regulated industry. At Green Buddha, we consider ourselves partners with the communities in which we operate. As a result, my hope is that you heed these words of caution and allow your community to see the impact of experienced operators before allowing less experienced businesses to operate. After the first of the year, you can allow 1 or 2 additional operators. Given the size of your city, you will likely come to find that allowing more than that is as unnecessary as it is risky to patients who depend on quality products from this industry. In an uncapped market, you will incentivize a lack of quality in order for smaller businesses to compete. It is much easier to execute a slow rollout than it is to scale back an uncapped number of licenses. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, David. And we'll take your comments under advisement. We also have your written version as well. And we'll be having, interestingly enough, we'll be having a workshop coming up on that topic here in a couple of weeks. I think we just established a date, so I won't say what date it is because I haven't seen it yet, but that'll be advertised as well. And appreciate your comments. And obviously it's not on the agenda tonight, so we won't have any discussion on that, but thank you for joining us in your comments, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the virtual? All right, we'll move on. There's no public hearing, so tonight's consent agenda is A, bills to be allowed in the amount of $178,340.05. B is a budget amendment request to increase the capital vehicles account for the installation of specialized equipment for a police patrol vehicle in the amount of $11,751. C is the approval of the Art on the Bay event to be held July 14th through the 18th, 2021. D is approval of the 150th anniversary celebration for block party to be held at St. Paul Lutheran Church on June 20th, 2021. And E is approval of resolution 2021-06, a resolution for designation of street administrator.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Johnson, second.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
No.
Councilman Nowak,
Yes.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
And Councilwoman Hess.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Anna. And now we're down to new business. A is a contract services with Donald Gilmet. Rich Sullenger, acting city manager, is presenting that.
And this was prepared by Andrea Cares. But in the last 6 months of the building department has lost 3 longtime staff with over 80 years of experience in the city of Alpena due to retirements. In an effort to assist the transition as new staff are trained, it is a goal of the department to contract with Gilmet of Gilmet Construction Services. Services provided by the company will include plan review training of new staff and ensuring that the city of Alpena is in compliance The Public Act 230 of 1972 as applies to governmental subdivision enforcing the state construction. Contracting with Gilmet Construction Services will allow a seamless transition and ensure that the needs of the community and the contractors are met during the training period for the new employees. The city will be charged on an hourly basis at a rate of $30 per hour for services provided, and costs incurred will be billed on a monthly basis. Furthermore, the contract may be terminated by either party with a 30-day notice. And this is on an as-needed basis. We would basically get a hold of Don, ask him to come in and do something. Or like today, he stopped in just to say hi and see how things were going. So it would basically be as needed. But we have some ISO rating coming up that I think that Andrea was concerned about working with through that process. And Don has done that before. So she felt it would be prudent to have him for that service as well. So.
I think it's a wise decision. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. Bill, sorry, I was looking for Bill. Any issues with how that's written up, or will you be writing something up separate to what we saw in the memo? Or?
No, this is fine. It basically says what he's going to do and what the responsibilities are.
Okay. And whoever he's working with in the department will just kind of keep track of the hours. And anybody, any questions? No concerns. That's fine. We should move.
So I move to contract with Don Gilmet and sign the contract that's in the packet. Okay.
Support Dan Mitchell.
Councilman Mitchell, excuse me.
Yes.
Councilman Nowak,
Noak, yes.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hess,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you. And next up is a contract similar for services with Andrea Cares.
With Andrea Cares' resignation from the city as the Director of Planning, Development, and Zoning, the city will need assistance in meeting the needs of the public. To facilitate this, the attached memorandum was developed to allow the city to contract with Andrea Cares to provide as-needed services to the city via remote access. The city will provide her a laptop and cell phone for her use while performing these services. These items will be returned once these services are no longer needed. The city will also have access to Denise Klein from NEMCOG to provide any services needed, and will utilize her to assist in the medical marijuana discussion moving forward. Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals issues will be handled by staff with input from Andrea Cares. Andrea will have the ability to meet remotely with staff, boards, and commissions and the public as needed. It is my recommendation as acting city manager that the city council approve the attached memorandum of agreement regarding utilizing Andrea Cares as a contract employee on an as-needed basis. And again, we're not 100% sure how much we're going to need her, but this will give us an opportunity to have her available to use as a resource as we move through this transition period. We are already advertising for replacement. Hopefully it won't take quite as long as last time.
Let's see. And tell us, if you will, just like some of the major projects that she has been working on to kind of give an idea of how close she is to get.
She's been integral in the revisions to the ordinance for the burn structures. She put that together in conjunction with input from Bill Forbush, myself, and Bill. She was involved in working on the medical marijuana revisions that we talked about. So those will be ongoing. And then, the two people we have remaining right now, Billy Vogt and Kathleen, don't have a lot of experience with zoning. So we want her to be able to be accessed for zoning related questions that they don't feel comfortable answering. We also can draw on Don as needed, but we wanted this as an option out there as well.
And Mayor, this is Rachel Smolinski. I'm not sure if all of you knew that I was on here. I know it's a voice from above here. What I will do, I'm catching up this week and will be back in person next week. And what Rich and I can do, and I'm going to be speaking with Andrea, Don, and Denise separately, but I'll prepare a document that shows who's doing what, so that when you do get questions out in the community, that you'll know who to direct them to.
Okay, yeah, that would be good during the transition, so people don't start calling Don when it's something that Billy can take care of, or Andrea or whoever. So.
We still want all the questions to be directed into Kathleen downstairs, and then she can direct them as needed.
Okay. So, and when is Andrea's last physical day?
She was last Tuesday was her
Did I
last
miss it?
physical day. Yeah.
I hate this not being here very often thing right now, so, okay, very well. But she's well versed in virtual meetings, so
Yes.
I think that'll go well. Does anybody have any questions or issues with that one as well? All right. Good.
Yeah. And I just want to say, and I had already talked to Rich about this, and I talked to Rachel about it, she told me, is the distance between Andrea and the people who might need her services scares me. So I did kind of ask if they would kind of talk to Don, and maybe we can shift some of it to Don as he's here, and he knows all of this stuff. But I'm good with moving forward with this and to transition through.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what Rachel was addressing as well, as far as if somebody needs some immediate face-to-face time here, and it's something like that, then she'll have that worked out. And
And I appreciate that. Okay.
I move we approve the contract with Andrea Carrots for services needed.
Second.
Councilman Nowak,
Councilman Nowak, yes.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hess,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
and Councilman Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Now for the long statement. I move we adjourn to closed session to discuss water sewer litigation and update on proposed litigation with Alpena Biorefinery LLC, the American Process Incorporated, and GranBio LLC.
Johnson, second.
Bill, do you expect any action coming out of this?
I do not.
Go ahead, Anna. All right.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hess,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
and Councilman Nowak.
Councilman Nowak, yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Anna. And just a quick brief to anyone in the virtual world and media that we won't be taking any action on this. So once we come out of closed session, we'll basically just be adjourning the regular meeting. So feel free to stick around if you'd like. Otherwise, thank you for joining us.
I've never heard her speak ever.
Her timing was
My Alexa perks up when someone says Alexa on the TV, so I go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
We need Charlie. What's off the record? The record was set.
Yeah, that was something.
That was something. I don't even, I think we just said, call me New York. See ya.
Yeah.